Hello and welcome to another Nintendnews. That's right, it's two of them, hence the "oo" sound in the name. If there's a theme for this one, it's two. It's the number of the day, folks. First of all, we have the two directs. There was the partner showcase and the Pokemon one, which just happened today, as of recording the audio. If you've been watching this channel for a while now, you know that I don't really care about either of those things, hence the lack of Pokemon footage in the background, or Pokemon anything in any of my videos, really. I steer clear from that kind of thing. But it's Nintendnews, it's news about Nintendo, I gotta talk about it. First of all, we had the partner showcase thingamabob. It was fine, I guess. There was nothing there that I really cared about in the slightest, but hey, Endless Ocean sequel, that's cool, I guess. A new Monkey Ball's announced, like a proper new one, so that's definitely interesting. And there was a bunch of rare games being put into the Switch. None of the ones that people wanted, mind you, but I mean, hey, it's more rare games. And of course, there was the Epic Mickey remake. That's it for major announcements. Yeah, again, I don't really care about these types of things. I'm glad that it made people happy. That's very awesome sauce, but no, there's nothing there for me. The one thing of note, though, that actually does kind of play into something that I care about, is the fact that they changed up the presentation of the Nintendo Direct. And what I mean by that is that it just looked different. Previously, with partner showcases, it looked the exact same as the regular Nintendo Directs, but this looked different. Now, whenever we swapped over from Wii U 3DS to Switch 3DS, they changed the way the Nintendo Directs looked, so I have a feeling that they've changed this up because they're getting ready to move on to the next stage. Going into the next system, we'll be seeing a new form of Nintendo Direct that is the exact same in every way except for aesthetics, so that's cool. I'm happy with that. I like how we're switching it up. Oh. As mentioned before, the other Direct was the Pokemon one. The Pokemon Presents. I, again, don't really care. When it comes to Pokemon, I'm definitely not a fan, so, you know, for them to actually get my interest, they'd have to announce Pokemon Legends about Pokemon X and Y. But yeah, no, that has already happened. Don't know why I'm pretending I didn't know that. I mean, I went into this explicitly having seen it and going, yeah, I'm gonna talk about it. Pokemon Legends as, yeah, that's right, it's finally Pokemon Z. The game that we were kind of supposed to get, but never did. It's here. And I think that's really, really funny. Especially since the game is taking place either in the past or the future. I feel like it's the past. Because Legends, that's like, oh, you know, it's from ages back, you know, and it's very, very old. But I don't know, man, that the city is way bigger looking from the small bit they actually did get to see in the teaser, which it was just a teaser, no gameplay or anything like that. The fact is, it was like a proper big city. Compare it to the actual, was it Lumiose that we got in X and Y? Yeah, no, this is way bigger. Or not. I guess it just looks more detailed. What we do know is that the game takes place entirely in this city. So that's gonna be very interesting. I'm somewhat excited to see what it's gonna be like, especially because of the release date. See, Pokemon has done this delightful little thing where they've always gotten something new out every single year. Something majorly new, you know, like a big DLC, a new game, that type of thing. But they don't seem to have anything this year. And I am really glad about that. Not just because maybe Pokemon games will finally be good, but also because I've heard stories of the developers being overworked and it being a really stressful environment and all that type of thing. And that is just not right. No matter what game franchise it is, there should not be anyone working in conditions that make them really unhealthy or in pain. Just that type of thing. I want good working environments across all gaming companies, so I'm glad that they've given them that extra year. Here's hoping not only that the developers get to sleep and maybe even eat, but also will pump out a much better game. Topic number 2. That's right, baby. 2, because it's a theme of 2. There's 3 topics in this video, I think. That sucks. There are 2 games coming out this year that I care deeply about, that we have heard nothing about since September. And I was really expecting there to be a January or February Direct or something to clear up the weirdness around these titles. But we haven't gotten that yet. Even when the partner showcase was announced, I was half expecting when I saw the tweet, like, oh, this is going to be a hybrid one, you know? But then I looked and I was like, no, this is partner, not mini. so it really is just gonna have nothing from Nintendo. We have not received any sort of information, from trailer footage to just being told what's going on about the Thousand Year Door remake and Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. And I want to know about these things, man. I want to know roughly when they're going to release at the very least. I want to see a little bit more, like, is there going to be extra stuff added or not? That is something that I've just been really thinking about for both of these games. For the Thousand Year Door remake, as I stated in the video I did on that, there's just so many small things about that trailer that just seem out of place, that almost imply there's going to be something more. And with Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, it can't take this long to port a 3DS game, so there has to be something going on. This is why I believe that the game is going to be really beautiful. By the way, a little bit of a theory here, but keep in mind that as of late, whenever we get that first gameplay trailer for something made by Next Level Games, it does not look great. Remember Luigi's Mansion 3 when it got announced? It was like, oh, that doesn't look too pleasant. Or the Mario Strikers, again, didn't look too pleasant, but give it some time. New trailer comes out, it looks fantastic. So I think a similar thing has happened here, where we got to see the first bit of footage they got for HD. It looked fine. Like, they just took the 3DS game and slapped it on Switch, but now they've been given an extra lot of months. Next time we see a trailer, it's going to be a lot better looking. At least, again, that's what I think is going on. I don't know who's making the remake, and while this pattern I've pointed out does fit from Next Level Games, it might not for whatever studio is doing this. Recently, I think the ESRB ratings got updated for these games, so I think that might mean that something's on the horizon. It might just be Twitter announcements or what have you, but still, I'm more than ready for it. And finally, the last topic for today is again related to the Switch 2. I'm going to call it that instead of the successor or what have you because, you know, 2! Like the other things. Recently, a bunch of different leakers have said that the Nintendo Switch 2, Switch successor, what have you, has been delayed to 2025. And like, this wasn't just the one dude and then a bunch of people afterwards. It seemed to be so many of them at once, almost as if the second these various different sources heard about this, like they just spread it as fast as they could. I don't like that. When it comes to the Switch 2, I was really hoping that it would release, say, around June at a time, you know, roughly when the Switch 1 released. Just because it seems cool for it to be like that. Especially if Nintendo decides to have a really strong lineup of initial games. Because, like, I'm gonna want a lot of free time to play me some Mario, and Metroid, and Zelda, and Paper Mario, and have you, you know? If they're doing a bunch of different stuff at the once, I would like to be able to experience all of it, and that might be a little bit harder if you release it in, like, September, October, you know? As always, don't take this leak as, like, gospel, alright? It's a leak, they turn out to be not true a lot of the time, and, you know, that Puro guy, he hasn't said anything about it, so we could be in the clear. I don't know. Don't get your hopes up for a 2024 release, but don't be dreading that it's pushed back to 2025. Though at the same time, Pokemon, man, might want to release right by the Switch too, and that's why he's a 2025. So the company doesn't actually care about pushing the game back for like their employees or what have you. They might just be doing that because, well, you know, we want it to line up with this system, so instead of putting it here, we'll do that. That could be what's going on. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Really thinking about it, a 2025 release does seem somewhat likely, because last year, the big holiday title was technically Mario Bros. Wonder, but much closer to the holidays was WarioWare, which, I'm sorry, but not that many people care about, and the remake of Super Mario RPG. This was a remake of a Mario RPG. Now, what do we have coming at some unknown time this year? A remake of a Mario RPG. So what if the two games that we know are coming are like the last Switch games, kind of, you know, the last main Nintendo published ones? Of course, there's a bunch of other companies throwing their stuff in, but what if they're the last two ones, and you're gonna get your Thousand Year Door remake way in November, October time, and Luigi's Mansion over summer? That could be what we're building up towards. Only time will really tell. Nintendo is yet to actually announce when they're announcing their next system, or if there even is a next system, which we know there is, but still. So really, until that point, all we can do is just sit here and twiddle our thumbs and think of a couple things, slap random threads of stuff together to hope it forms logic. It usually doesn't, but maybe I'll get lucky one of these days. Monkey with a typewriter type thing. Eventually the room fills with poop and he drowns. Hope that doesn't happen to me. And that's it for this Nintendnews. If you enjoyed it, give a like. If you want to come back, give a like. Why do you want to come back? Give a like. Comment down below on what you think. You know, do you care about Pokemon? Hope not. If you do, like, you've been through the ringer the past couple of years, mate. Or talk about the Switch 2. When do you think he's coming, huh? Or what's up with those two games? What about those remakes? Where are they? And if this is your first video on this channel, please, for the love of God, go watch some different ones, alright? This one is just entirely slapped together cheaply, you know? The good stuff, the stuff I'm proud of, alright, that's your other videos on this channel. Go watch them instead, and then subscribe if you enjoy them. If you don't, well, that's sad. If this is the second or even third time I've shown up in your recommended, and you've watched all 3 of those times, or 2 of those times, subscribe already, man. Come on, you've done the hard part of liking me. Just press the button. I can press a button easy, what's your excuse? Alright, bye-bye. The Puff Stool.